Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today to the first Quirky Aesthetics international launch of Fiona. Zedde. I've called it every other name under the sun. But thank you so much for coming today. Just before we start the event, I'm just going to go through the house rules. If there is a fire alarm, it is a real fire. And not a test. So the two fire exits are this one here and that one over there next to the door on that side, or the entrance that you came in. Straight downstairs and out. If anybody needs the lift is on the corner and it'll take you straight down. It is working. But other than that, I just want to say thank you so much for coming today. This is our first event in which we're trying to do artistic stuff in the city of Birmingham, London, Manchester, and all other areas. And the reason why we've called it Quirky Aesthetics is because it's one of the events of looking at things that don't exactly fit into anything. And trying to incorporate different types of people who wouldn't normally come together. So I'd just like to thank you all, and it's my great pleasure to have both B. Today who's coming from the BBC, Not in Playhouse, and Bebop to do the interview. We have Fiona Zedde coming all the way from Florida to talk about her books, and Pauline helping us with the filming. And you guys just, making up a beautiful audience, so I will hand it over to you. The format we're going to take place today is there's going to be an interview session, then a Q&A session in which you guys can ask any questions. Then Fiona's going to read extracts from her first book, Bliss, and from her latest book, Dangerous Pleasures, and then some list signing at the end and mingling afterwards. Okay. So if anyone's got friends, text your friends to still come. Okay, I'll hand it over to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome everybody. Good evening. My name's Beatrice Uday, and I'm going to be spending a little time this evening talking to Fiona Zedde. I've heard all of the permutations and combinations.
Me too. And I answer to all of them, so that's fine. I made the name up, so it's okay.
Brilliant. Lambda nominated, Jamaican born, author and visiting lecturer as well. Fiona Zedde is a writer who weaves stories about relationships, both lesbian and straight, with progressive and positive characters and a cutting-edge take on romance in modern society. Joining me here to talk about her writing career, as well as her latest novel, Dangerous Pleasures. Welcome, Fiona Zedde.
Thank you, V, and thank you all for coming. I really appreciate you coming in and sharing this evening with me. This is my first event in the UK, so thank you so much.
Now, you left Jamaica when you were 12 years old. 12, and went to live in America.
In Florida, yeah.
Now, apart from your characters, describe a little bit about how your Jamaican roots influences your writing.
No matter what I write, whether it's a book set in the States or Jamaica or other countries, there's always going to be a Jamaican influence to it, whether it's one of the characters was born there, or it's part of the setting, or there's Jamaican food. I cannot write a novel that doesn't have anything Jamaican about it. Because I feel even though I've lost most of my Jamaican accent, I still feel very Jamaican. And then, of course, when I go home, people at home are saying, well, you don't sound like us anymore, so I'm not sure if you're really one of us anymore. But I still feel it deep inside of myself, and I can't separate that Jamaicanness from my writing and from being a writer. So I think Bliss is, of course, semi-autobiographical. So the character was born in Jamaica, moved to the States as a child, and all these different things. So it's very heavily Jamaican. And this last book, Mason, the lesbian character, she's from Jamaica. Her parents moved her to the States when she was a young child as well.
When I'm reading your work, there's a lot of energy in there. Where does this energy to write about love come from, especially during these these challenging times, which is almost dispassionate as well, really.
Really, really. Well, when I was young in Jamaica, I read Mills and Boon books. I think many of you all remember those, some maybe. And some of the stories were so amazing and you know, easily dismissed because it's just about love, it's just about romance, you know. We value money in our society, all these different things, and love is kind of nice to have and not essential. But I love the idea of love, and I feel like I started reading early. I don't know how old, but maybe 5 or 4. I started reading early, and I found my mom. Yes, exactly. This is what happened to me. So I found my mother's stack of Mills and Boon books, and this is what my early reading was. And I think, in a sense, these books reared me to be really in love with love. And when I started writing, no matter what I write about, vampires or women trying to recover from divorce, love is such an important part of what I feel is about the writing. It's an important part of the writing, and I feel like love is an important part of life. And no matter what's happening with, you know, wars and political strife and, you know, financial chaos, we all need love. As cheesy as it may sound, I think it's true. And if you have love, whether it's at home or with friends, it makes so many things more bearable. So I'm just a big softie, and I love all of that stuff. I love love.
Apart from Mills and Boons, who were your literary inspiration when you were growing up?
Michelle Cliff. She's a Jamaican black lesbian. She writes essays and poems, and she wrote this phenomenal book called A Bang, which is a big influence for me. Jewel Gomez, an American lesbian writer, and Pablo Neruda. I love poetry. It's ridiculously beautiful, and I like to, whenever possible, create new ways. Well, maybe not create, but find new ways of saying the same things. And I think his poetry is such an example of that. Brilliant.
From an audience perspective, the themes of your books cover, not even from an audience perspective, but from an academic with your lecturing as well. The themes of your books cover women's studies, black studies, erotica, and we were even talking earlier, you said queer studies as well. I didn't even know that was a topic in itself, and creative writing. What is the process that you follow in producing a novel?
I just find something that I'm interested in, and I follow it and write it, and hope that when I finish, that someone will be interested enough to read it. That's really all it is. I've been fortunate enough not to have been told that I need to write this kind of book. I just have an interest and follow it, and luckily it works out. And then things that I'm interested in, whether it's about male-female relations or queerness in Jamaican society, or how black people or lesbians are perceived in American society, those things I put in my books because I'm interested in them, and they're part of the plot as you find out, will these two get together and how they get together.
Do you find that when you're writing that you have a certain time of day that you will go for?
Absolutely. I write best at night when no one's going to call me. I write midnight until 5 when I can, because people are sleeping. And I'm tempted to go out to the park and go to the cafe and all these things in the day, and all those distractions are out there, and it's so easy and so nice. But yeah, writing definitely happens after midnight, and then I fall asleep eventually.